Imagine being in the forest alone and hearing these sounds in the middle of the night. What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today is Paranormal Tuesday, and I've got two stories for you. The first story is about a group of hunters who went out into the Sierra Mountains and came back with some terrifying audio recordings. The second story is about Jan Maccabee, who encountered what she claims looked like the Predator from the movie. I will go over both stories and more in today's video. Also, today's missing person case is Ronald Coney Jr. from Manchester, New Hampshire. He will be featured at the end of my video, so please stay until the end for that. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover murder, mystery, to the paranormal. Before I get into the story about the strange recordings, I want to talk about a retired cop who began investigating strange disappearances and the many people who go missing in national parks, and turned this research into many books and a couple of movies called The 411 The Missing by David Pilates. David Pilates has uncovered what he calls clusters of people who go missing in the same area in national parks. In his second film, he goes over a group of hunters who recorded some terrifying sounds. Back in the 1970s in Northern California, in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Al Berry, Ron Moorhead, and some other hunters had this spot where they would go in the mountains where they would hunt and camp every year. It was quite secluded, and they would have to hike miles deep into the Sierra to reach their camp. In this camp, they built this structure kind of like a shelter for the night to take cover in, and they built it out of big logs laid across tall trees. During the night, they started hearing strange noises in the distance surrounding their camp, and they decided to record these strange encounters, and what I'm about to play you is extremely terrifying. Here is the clip.
That's our girl. We know where we went for tracks and all that for sure. There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
It sounds like he talks to us and they talk to each other.
Yeah.
According to Barry, this encounter lasted over an hour and would happen multiple nights while they stayed at the camp. They never saw who or what was making these sounds, but it seems like there is more than one of these things, and they sound like they are communicating with each other. These clips have been examined by many different experts, and they say that the sounds on the recording could not come from a human, and the frequencies are way below and above of what any human vocals can produce. These audio clips have been called numerous names, but many know them as the samurai sounds or the Bigfoot recordings. Many people claim it sounds like some kind of Asian culture or the lost samurai who went west, or it could be a group of Sasquatch or Bigfoots communicating. Whatever you believe, this would be very frightening to hear in the middle of the night. Story 2. Predator in the Forest. It was the last day in September in hunting season for deer in Lima, Ohio. Jan Maccabee was anxious to begin hunting. Her method of hunting consisted of waiting and watching while seated in her tree stand, which was located deep in her backyard, and this was surrounded by deep woods and planted fields. She had been taking pictures of her setup with the BlackBerry Pearl camera phone. Each picture she takes, the phone timestamps date, time, size, and resolution of the photo. While sitting in the tree stand with the sun to her back, she could hear all the animals, birds, and the crickets moving around and making noise. At approximately 6:21 p.m., she took a photo of herself in the stand, and quickly after, the woods went dead quiet. The birds, the crickets, everything was silent. And so Jan began scanning the woods in front of her, and she began to notice something almost invisible moving from tree to tree about 20 feet away. She said it looked something like that had been saran wrapped and climbing the tree and would extend out and move to the next branch. So Jan grabbed her BlackBerry and took a picture in the direction of this entity. And after she took the photo, she noticed that this entity had disappeared, and so she took another photo of herself just to see if the phone was working and if she could maybe capture the entity again. So Jan decided to head back home and not to speak of what she saw, as she just shrugged it off. At night, after dinner, while on Facebook, she had seen a post from her nephew about how during band practice on the high school football field outside, which is about half a mile away from Jan's home, they say a huge bright light appeared over the field and moved sideways. Then in a matter of 5 seconds, it kept getting smaller until it disappeared, then reappeared 5 minutes later with an amber color to it, and it would eventually disappear. So she reached out to her nephew, and he told her this happened at approximately 8 p.m., and multiple witnesses saw it, and that was just a little over an hour after Jan had saw that predator-looking entity. So Jan is married to the well-known optical physicist Bruce Maccabee, and after both of them looking at the photo that was taken, they quickly realized that something was wrong with the photo, as it is distorted, and even though she took the photo away from the sun, it looks like some kind of sun rays or hair in the photo, yet she had a hat on and her hair was behind her. So she had her husband look at the phone and the timestamp of the photo and realize that somehow the resolution of that one picture was 528 by 400, which is not a normal resolution, and all the other photos she took before and after were 1024 by 768. Bruce Maccabee goes on to explain that in order to take a picture at that resolution would mean someone rewriting the coding in the phone itself, which would be nearly impossible for any normal person to be able to do. They also went back and Jan took another picture approximately the same time and in the same direction as where she saw the predator, and this is what came out: no sun rays and just the normal resolution. And for those who think it could be a close-up of hair, they did an experiment. She took pictures close up of her head and it don't match. So could the two events have been related and Jan experienced some kind of visitor from another planet or dimension? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please smash that like button and share the story. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Please consider supporting my channel by becoming a member. And shout out to Karen for posting the missing in the comments. If you want a shout out, be the first person to put the missing in the comments and the details. Today's missing person case is Ronald Coney Jr. from Manchester, New Hampshire. Last seen on January 8th. He has black hair and brown eyes. Please take a close look. Please take care of yourself and be sure to tell someone you love them. And I love you all. Thank you.